Good afternoon, Simon from Prestige Garden Services. I hope you're well and you're having a good day. I'm just literally finishing off moving a ton of soil from the driveway, this client's driveway, around the back. If you tuned in yesterday to the live feed, you'll know a little bit about what we're actually doing here today. We're over in Morley and we're completing some work on a lawn which is is in dire need of attention. I'm just going to stick you in the bucket. Just bear with me 1 second whilst I wheel you around and talk about what's been happening. Hi, Si, I hope you're well, mate. Good to see you tuning in and engaging with my work. I kind of come across certain particular things in the gardens that I feel sometimes it's quite important to share. And if I just cover off perhaps a few things that happened yesterday, then perhaps some of the other viewers that may have not have seen the work that obviously is being put in today, they can obviously catch up. So, switch the camera around. We're on a lawn at the moment which is basically being scarified, aerated, holotined, and as you can see at the moment, yesterday morning this was actually, it was a blanket of grass, but it was very poor quality grass, covered in thatch, moss, a whole range of debris in respect to a really poor lawn. And it's not until you actually get to grips with what lies beneath till you start to understand the problems that you encounter with lawn. So if I just home in on this area here, I'm going to try and cover off some quite important things that are studied actually on the horticultural course, and this is obviously that of soil. Now, if I just show you very briefly the difference between this high grade quality soil, not only the colour but also what we've got left hand side of it. This clearly is grit and it's just literally a builder's dream really. It's just builder's material in comparison to the quality behind it, which is soil. You see the colour. Now clearly soil is probably one of the most important factors that we use today. I'm no David Attenborough, although he is a bit of a hero of mine. I'm turning the radio down here. But when you're working with the ground and working with soil, whether you're planting fruit, vegetables, lawn, horticulture, agriculture, farming, you've got to have really good quality soil, that of drainage, and the soil has got to be full of nutrients and vitamins for anything to grow. If we look at that on a bigger picture and talk about the world on a much bigger scale, we get everything from the earth. Everything from wood, metal, plastic, oil, fuel. I'm no, as I said, David Attenborough, but it is obvious when you start getting involved and you study a little bit about, you know, this kind of business that I'm in, the landscaping business, and I kind of take a bit of interest in regards to, you know, everything that comes from it, stone. But I mean, you can just go on and on and on and on. I mean, clearly there's been you know, years and years of evolution and obviously developments and, you know, computers and a whole host of different businesses that obviously make the world go round today. But ultimately speaking, everything comes from the ground. And if we don't get this right and don't protect it, you know, as David Attenborough just recently put something out yesterday to the EU, you know, climate change, etc. You know, we are in for a bad time, probably not in our years, maybe not in our children's years, but in the future. So, you know, protect the earth type of thing. So what happens on buildings, certainly this development, if I turn around here, I'm on quite a large development in the background. You can see this is a new housing development. One of the first things that I was taught on the horticultural course is that when buildings, or certainly developing companies come along and start taking across a huge area of land, they take away initially the top level of soil. They take it all away. It's good quality soil, and they replace it obviously with building material. And with that, obviously, then you've got obviously new housing, new plumbing, wiring, drainage, a whole host of different particular things. When they bring back the soil, it's a completely different soil. And there's actually a website online that you can actually type in your postcode and it'll tell you the type of soil you've got, which will then allow you to marry up what you plant. You know, gardens, properties, you know, having a good garden increases the value of the property, and that's very, very key. And it was interestingly enough, before I start talking about this, firing off some knowledge here at the moment, is that many years ago, before my time, probably 16th, 15th century, gardens were not what they are today. They were used quite simply to produce produce, fruit, veg. That's what pretty much everyone was a farmer in those days, and certainly with Brexit coming on, I think everyone should probably learn how to grow their own vegetables and food. But it's very, very key, because obviously now, you know, if you've got a lawn, or certainly in those days, you had a little patch of grass or something, you were actually classed to be extremely, extremely wealthy. So still today, you don't see many people growing their own veg, but they just want nice lawns. And to get a nice lawn, there's a lot of science behind it. Now I'm going to just flick the camera here, because I covered this yesterday. Hopefully the camera was wobbling yesterday, so forgive me if it does it today. I've been excavating quite a bit around this particular lawn, and it starts to come to fruition in regards to obviously what I've covered, which is it's grit, it's a bad condition, it's bad soil, it's almost like hardcore. And with that, obviously you can see that I've shifted a ton of soil which was around the front and onto the lawn here, which I'm now going to spread evenly. I holotined yesterday using these machines over here. I aerated, incredible equipment. And I kind of came back, believe it or not, last night I thought to myself, I'm not happy. I'm not happy with what I'm doing in regards to applying fertilizer and lawn seed onto the current surface of this lawn, quite simply because it hasn't got the nutrients. And I had to explain that to the client this morning and go back and explain that you need to spend more money, basically. There's no point putting on the seed and feed onto this type of material. It's just going to be a waste. And he mentioned to me that he had a lawn, he had a turf, his lawn returfed a year ago, and it's died effectively. And the reasons is obviously what I've encountered. But if I explain it into a bit of different detail, these are some of the pickings and findings that I've come across in regards to just spending 20 minutes beforehand. Slate, glass. There's a whole host of different materials here, which obviously produces poor quality drainage. It's very sandy, it's very gritty, it's mossy, it's thatch, etc. And you can see it's builders have been working on here, and they've done this job, and they've done it very, very poorly. But if you look at it on a bigger scale, and you talk about having a patchy lawn, and it's patchy in areas and there's moss, this is the key. You never know what you find beneath. So if this is effectively underneath the grass or the surface of the soil, and spread out in a lawn area, then clearly the nutrients, the vitamins, the water, the seed, the feed, everything can't penetrate this, and therefore obviously you're going to get patches, and that spread across this area here has been a problem. But other than that, obviously we're now in a situation where we are just about to spread all of this quality fine loam soil, which is full of goodness, nutrients, vitamins, and I'll be working this in and around this lawn area now, filling in the gaps. You can see there's been a lot of work completed here today in regards to getting this soil over and taking a lot of the waste out. I've taken probably over 1.5 tons of waste away just on this particular 50 square metre lawn. But the client's spending a lot of money. They want a quality lawn. They've got a lovely property here, and they want to improve their garden and also the value of their property. So a little bit of information there obviously on lawn maintenance, not just obviously cutting, but understanding, effectively speaking, the science behind producing a good lawn. If things are covered, you don't have a good obviously surface area, if you don't have the right nutrients, vitamins, good soil, fertilizer, water, drainage, you're going to struggle. Obviously that then plays into my pals Phil Hicks is with an artificial lawn, takes the whole emphasis out of having a new lawn. So it depends what you want really. thought I'd share that with you. It's quite informative information. I hope it's engaged you this afternoon. This is Simon from Prestige Garden Services, giving you a little bit of information perhaps that you didn't know. Have a good afternoon. All the best.